Good morning. My name is Dylan Meralus. I ask that you please take a few moments to listen to this speech that I have composed for our Juneteenth celebration. Emancipation. As the Civil War came to a close in 1865, a number of people remained enslaved, especially in remote areas. Word of slavery's end traveled slowly, and for those who were largely isolated from Union armies, life had continued as if freedom did not exist. This was especially the case in Texas, where thousands of slaves were not made aware of freedom until June 19, 1865. This was the day that Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston and issued an order officially freeing them. Their celebration would serve as the basis of June 19th, or Juneteenth, a holiday celebrating emancipation in the United States. Ironically, while Juneteenth has become the most prominent Emancipation Day holiday in the United States, it commemorates a more smaller moment that remains relatively obscure. It does not mark the signing of the 1863 Emancipation Proclamation, which technically freed all slaves in rebelling Confederate states, nor does it commemorate the 1865 ratification of the 13th Amendment, which enshrined the end of slavery into the Constitution. Instead, it marks the moment when emancipation finally reached those in the deepest parts of the former Confederacy. In many ways, Juneteenth represents how justice and freedom in the United States has always been delayed for Black people. The decades after the end of the war would see a wave of lynching, imprisonment, and Jim Crow laws take root. What followed was a disproportionate mass impact of mass incarceration and discriminatory housing policies and a lack of economic investment. And now, as national attention remains focused on acts of police violence and various racial profiling incidents, it is clear that while progress has been made in Black America's 150 years out of bondage, considerable barriers continue to impede that progress. Those barriers may remain until America truly begins to grapple with its history. There are those in the society that still hold on to the idea that the Civil War wasn't about slavery. It was about states' rights or northern aggression against slavery. But in reality, Juneteenth is a moment where we step back and try to understand the Civil War through the eyes of the enslaved people. Juneteenth is also a time to recommit ourselves to the work that remains undone. We remember that even in the darkest hours, there is a cause to hope for tomorrow's light. Today, no matter our race, religion, gender, or sexual orientation, we recommit ourselves to working to free modern-day slaves around the world, and to honoring in our own time the efforts of those who fought so hard to steer our country truer to our highest ideals. Thank you for listening.